Hi, I wanted to do this video for all of my self-employed people out there that have a job where they're in charge. Maybe they don't have a corporation, they're just filing a Schedule C. A lot of gig workers, photographers, people in the entertainment industry, hairstylists, estheticians, gardeners. You've got a business, you're doing good, but you're self-employed and you file your taxes and you enjoy your write-offs because why? Because you don't have to pay a lot of money in taxes. That's why. The downside to that is, unfortunately, you're often excluded from home ownership opportunities. I want to break down to you today the simple steps that you need to take to find out how to go about being a homeowner. And this video arose from a conversation that I had with my brow gal, Kaylin. My brows, see, what do you think? And I was telling her about, hey, we're getting ready to have a really great opportunity where you can write offers and you don't need to come up with $100,000 over. You're not going to be competing with like 50 people. This is a time where real people can get into houses. And she was like, gosh, well, I don't even know where to start. So I'm just going to kind of flow with a conversation that I had with her and recommendations that I gave to her. She is a business owner and files taxes as such. Let me bring this up. She files, so these are her federal Form 1040s. In lending, we will be asking self-employed people, not for the California returns, but for the federal Form 1040s, right? These are your federal Form 1040s. And then we're going to be looking at your Schedule C, your profit and loss from the business, right? You have your name here. You have your gross receipts. Maybe you made $150,000 last year, but I guarantee you, if you're like all the other business owners out there, this bottom line number, right? Let me see. So this is just like the worksheet area, but the adjusted, where's it at? The adjusted gross income, I think it's this number. The adjusted gross income is significantly less. And that's what we qualify you off of. So if you made $100,000 and you're self-employed and you had $70,000 of expenses, then you're only paying tax on $30,000, and that's not going to qualify you to buy very much of a house in California. So let's go through these practical steps on what you can do to be a homeowner today. My number one advice would be go fill out a loan application so that we can take a look and see what you do, how long you've been in business, where you operate, what bank accounts you have, how much money you have. The income aspect, you're going to leave blank because you don't really know what income the lender is going to use. I would also suggest that you send us your previous year's taxes. You see, we're going to be calculating your income based off of your taxes. In a full income qualifying world where you have access to the best rates, which are the conventional loan rates, right? Or, some people have VA eligibility, or some people are better served by FHA. It all goes off of a full income qualifying situation where we need to look at your federal Form 1040s and specifically your Schedule C to calculate your income. So you fill out the loan application, let us run your credit, send us the taxes, and then I'm going to calculate, I'm going to look at your taxes and be like, yeah, you're right, you wrote off too much to qualify. So this is what's called a loan origination software. So we have our borrower information screen here, and we just plug in all the numbers. And in this situation, in order for Kayla to qualify, I just have this as a conventional loan just for educational purposes. And again, this is not an offer to lend. This is actually what the rate is today on a 3% loan with somebody with a 740 credit score. So 400,000 sales price, 3% down, so that's $12,000, right? These ratios are really significant because what it is, it's a proportion of your debt to income. So if your house payment is $3172 and your income is $6,800, your rent ratio, your housing expense is 46.6. And there's limits. You can't really go over 47. I actually have never seen it. I've heard of people getting it done. I've never seen it. So we close that. And then this is your bottom ratio or your total debt to income. And take a look at this. So this is an expression of your housing expense and your bills. So go down here. So your total debt to income is 49.5. And we usually can't go over 50. And honestly, I've never gone over 50. I've heard of people talk about it before, but we usually this is where it stops, especially on like a low down payment loan. Okay, look down here. So in order for Kayla to qualify, you have your principal and interest, homeowner's insurance, taxes, mortgage insurance, and this is on a condo. This is on a condo. She's in Orange County. And 400,000 is going to be, it's not going to be a walk in the park, but it's definitely doable. It's 100% doable. So the total payment is going to be $3172. And in Orange County on a 2-bedroom, you're probably going to be paying at least $2,800 or so. So why not own when you can have a write-off and leverage against future rate increases? I feel like I just keep saying that over and over. Rents went up 20 to 30% last year, and they are going to continue to go up. There's a shortage of housing, and as such, there's so much demand. Demand leads to increased prices, and people will pay it. Now, in order for Kayla to afford this payment with her particular situation, she has to show $6,800 a month. And in doing so, if she has not filed her 21 taxes, then she can show this $6,800 a month, which that is like $81,600. So she would have to file $81,600. If she puts less than 20% down, so if you are a business owner, this is like a little known thing, and it's really cool because sometimes if we could just use 1 year of taxes, you qualify. If we use 2 years, you do not qualify. So in many instances, we run it through the automated system and it tells us 1 year or 2 years. We use 2 underwriting engines, Loan Prospector and DU. One is Fannie Mae, one is Freddie Mac. And oftentimes, if someone's putting 20% down, we can get away with just 1 year of taxes. But Kayla is not putting 20% down, right? She's only putting 3% down. So she is going to need 2 years. So not only will she need to show $81,000 for 21, she'll need to go back and amend her taxes in 2020. And that can be cost prohibitive for people. And as a self-employed person looking to purchase, you really have 3 basic options. You file taxes and you show the income. You get a cosigner, or you do a bank statement program where we show, 12 months bank statements, but those are more expensive rate-wise, and you have to put 20% down. There's a lot of high net worth, self-employed business owners, and we see that a lot with people that have corporations, that run, millions of dollars through their corp, but they have a lot going on and they have a lot of write-offs. And so they don't qualify. Putting 20 or 30 or 40% down for them is an easy task. But that's not really the person that we're talking about, right? We're talking about Kayla. She has $20,000 or $30,000 to use for a down payment. So what I'm going to send her a sheet, and I haven't even gone over all of this with her. So I'll probably just send her this video so she can check out what my recommendations are. So number 1, she's got to file taxes this year and pay taxes. When you file your taxes, if you get in a repayment agreement, we usually need to wait 3 months so that you've made 3 payments. And then the catch is we have to include that in your monthly payment And so in this situation, if we did that, her debt ratios would be too high. We'd have to flip this to an FHA loan, which FHA has so many benefits, just like, it just depends on finding the right fit for the person. And being a mortgage broker since, gosh, how long have I been a mortgage broker? Since the 2000s, early 2000s. I prefer this channel because what I get to do is I get to shop for you. You fill out one application, we run your credit one time, and then I get to shop around and place you with the particular lender that is the best absolute fit for you. Going back to Kayla and her tax situation, so she will file $80,000 this year or 21, and then she has to go back and amend her taxes for 2020. She would have to wait 3 months and get in a repayment plan. We include that in her debt ratios. Or what is probably a more plausible type of situation is that maybe Kayla doesn't show the whole 80,000, but she comes in strong. She shows 40 or 50,000 for 21. Maybe she showed 30,000 in 2020. I don't know, because she did not fill out the application or send me any documents yet, right? Because a lot of times people they're just not sure what they can do. So the next step is to give her this information, and then she'll know, oh, okay, I see what I'm up against, right? I've got to file a big chunk this year and have some tax liability. And oftentimes what people do is, if they can, because the debt ratios are tight, they'll pay it off. But first we have to find out what is a good fit for Kayla, right? So maybe she just wants to leave 2020 taxes alone, come in strong and show $40,000 or $50,000. And then based on that knowledge, I will go back and say, okay, with averaging her income, because that's what we have to do. We have to average the 2 years income. What is her qualifying income? And then look at a cosigner. So maybe we have a friend or family member, that's earning $2,000 or $3,000 a month. Maybe they're retired. Maybe they're a wage earner. Maybe they're a family member that isn't going to be buying a house anytime soon, but they have a good job. And then that person will come on and co-sign with Kayla. They can be a non-occupant co-signer. And as long as Kayla pays the payment on time for 12 months, in a year, all that person has to do, let's say her sister does it, in a year, her sister is just going to go apply for a first-time buyer program, and Kayla is going to prove that she has been making the payment for 12 months on time, and then we just exclude that payment from her sister's credit, and her sister is free to go do whatever she wants. But that's a really cool workaround when you're a self-employed person. If you can't quite, maybe she's got to amend the taxes for 2020, it's going to be $15,000. And then to show $80,000 for 21, it's going to be 15. Well, that's $30,000. That literally takes all of her reserves. However, if she doesn't have a cosigner and she wants to own a home, maybe a good thing for her to do is to take the hit, show the income, and then we flip her into some kind of a first-time buyer or down payment assistance program. So there's a lot of ways to work in it. And it all starts with taking the hit, doing the loan application, getting us your documents so we can see what you showed before, running the credit to see where you are credit-wise, because loans are priced out on a sliding scale too. Now, that being said, if none of this is a good fit, then your only other option is to do a bank statement program or some kind of a 1099 program. And we do that actually for self-employed real estate agents that get 1099s, loan officers that get 1099s. You can qualify doing a program, but the problem is, let's say on a bank statement, let's say the rate today is 5.375 with 3% down on the conventional loan. On a bank statement loan, that same loan is probably going to be 7.3 or 7.5, like 2% higher, right? And you have to come in with so much money down. So that's why, can we figure out a reasonable way for you to get qualified? And going back to borrowers where we only want to do 1 year, that is what we do this so much, and it's really reserved for people putting a large, down payment or even refinancing, and they've got a lot of equity. And typically those borrowers need to be self-employed for 5 years to qualify. So there's so many ways to do it. And as far as how it works income-wise, you're going to show your taxes, and then the other income piece to being qualified and when your loan gets underwritten is you're going to need to do a profit and loss. There was some really restrictive COVID rules the last few years since COVID came out, where you had to show bank statements and the deposits had to be in there to support the P&L, and it had to match. And they what am I trying to say? They just eliminated that requirement. And so self-employed people, you don't need to have a separate bank account. And oftentimes a lot of our hairdressers, put their money into a regular account, into their personal account. So this is not rocket science. You know what it is? It's just doing it, just figuring it out, and really get started now. You want to be in position to take advantage of all the opportunities that are going to be out there for you to become a homeowner in 2022. My name is Teresa Tims. I've been doing home loans since 1998. I specialize in self-employed people. I am one myself. And last year, I knew that I was going to be refinancing. And so, I showed a lot of income. I paid a lot of taxes, but I got into a really great rate. And so you want to look at you want to set yourself up to a place where you can take advantage of the wealth building opportunities that owning a home has. I hope to hear from you soon. Like or subscribe below. I'd really like to know your thoughts, your challenges, any questions you might have. Feel free, even if you think it's the silliest question, don't hesitate to leave me a message, and I answer all of them back personally. So I'd love to hear from you. Have a beautiful day and happy house hunting out there.